I've been thinking a lot about the past year and why I initially moved to Austin, Texas. Well, first of all, my name's Omar Sharif. I moved from South Dakota a little over a year ago. I moved into my first apartment in Austin, Texas on January 7th, 2024. Kind of crazy to look back and think of how much time has passed and also what's happened during that time. And it's crazy. I came here having a six-figure remote job. It was my first sales job in 360 recruiting. I built a book of business worth about $340,000, really substantial for your first year in recruiting. And it wasn't feeding my soul or aspirations or really anything outside of monetary gain. I always knew I would make a lot of money, so seeing that was proof of concept that, I could do this and do it at a high level, but also what more is there for me to seek out and accomplish to fulfill myself. Ever since a kid, since middle school when YouTube came out, I always wanted to create. I remember trying to get friends together and put together skits and film them and put them out, and it just never came to fruition because I think just being where I'm from, kids are kind of scared to express themselves and be themselves and do anything out of the norm. So I don't blame them. I don't even blame myself. I was in a place where I wasn't fully aware of who I was and my gifts and what I wanted to do. I knew what my interests were and always have stepped into what I thought I wanted to do. And that leads into later ventures like drop shipping, starting an SMMA agency, later on starting my own recruiting agency, and all the way up to where I'm at now. So to give you some backstory, obviously I said I moved from South Dakota last year in January. I also left the job I was at in January. So it was a lot of newness to start the year in a new place, new apartment, no friends, no job, just rolling off vibes. I mean, it was a true test of who I am and what I can accomplish and everything I signed up for. So I did some consultative recruiting for the first 3 months, just kind of to see what it was like. And then this job came along that fit my experience in sales and also the industry I was recruiting in. So I took that. That was my introduction into the SaaS world with the Series C startup. That was pretty cool. That was a great experience. I worked with some really dope people, probably the most fun I've ever had at a job. But ultimately, it wasn't feeding me. Working in the insurance industry is very cut and dry, boring. You're having a lot of the same conversations, and I just feel like I'm too creative for that. I'm not gonna fit into that mold ever. And the job I was doing was an SDR. I wasn't fully closing sales. I was just setting the meetings for someone else to come in, do more disco, and then sell them. I wasn't even utilizing my skills to my full ability, which was kind of difficult to deal with, I'm not gonna lie, because I know I could do more. I just didn't have the formal AE training, so it is what it is. I understand. I was there for about 6 or 7 months, and following that, I really dove into the entrepreneurship life in terms of recruiting and reached out to those partners I met along the way, did some recruiting, closed some deals, made some money there, but it was just killing me showing up every day, looking for the professionals, having the same conversations, doing the same type of outreach to the same personnel. And it was why am I doing this? And now I'm at this point where it's, the end of January, early February of 2026. I misspoke earlier. I moved in 2024, not 2023. So I've been here for a year and a month. Now it's early February. I was applying to jobs kind of in the same realm, whether it was SDR roles, junior AE, partnership, and I got a role. It was 3 days in office here, and I was looking forward to starting it. But I've been remote, so I'll be honest. I was still looking for other jobs that were fully remote. And literally up until the other day, I was interviewing with this company that was fully remote. Everything went well. Went to the third round. Met with the SDR manager. We had a great conversation. I was supposed to hear the next day. Didn't hear back. Heard the following day, so now 2 days later, that they wouldn't be moving forward. And I was kind of bummed because I had a good conversation. I knew I'd be able to work remote and continue to pursue, the passions that I have and figure out what type of business I could build within that. In reflection, ultimately, that's just a Band-Aid cover up on trying to baby myself into fully stepping into my interests and what I feel like I have to add to the community, the world, and really just putting myself out there to see how far this could really go. And keep in mind, this is an idea I've had of myself since very young, middle school. I'm 27 now. Again, in reflection, I feel like that was just a Band-Aid for keeping me safe because I've made a significant amount of money in a role where it was fully commissioned. So like I know I can generate revenue in a way that I wouldn't have to worry about money. And that's why I've been able to take the time to figure out what it is I want to do, because there isn't much to spend your money on in South Dakota. And I grew up in a way that, I was never a super flashy person. I've never bought designer or a super luxurious car or anything like that. If anything, I like to splurge on colognes. That's my thing. I enjoy that. I have a silver watch that I really like. Very simple, all under $1,000, like not anything crazy. I bought my first iPhone for myself outright in like my fourth or third month in that sales role while I was recruiting, and that was really cool. Like I loved doing that. That was awesome. And it was just an investment into myself, and that's when I started to film more content and try and be consistent. But again, I was in an environment that didn't really feed into that, and I felt like I was going against the grain too much, and I was trying to do gym content, and then the gym put up signs that you can't record here because other people were starting to record, and it was becoming a thing. And it was like, okay, it's just not conducive. The environment's not conducive to who I am and who I want to become. I say all that to say the role I accepted, the offer got rescinded. And honestly, when that happened, it all happened in the same day. I was rejected from the role I was interviewing for at the remote company, and then later that day, the offer I had accepted a month ago got rescinded. I was literally supposed to start in 4 days. So that was a lot to take in mentally because of that false sense of security. But ultimately, like, it's not what I want to do. Like, I don't want to contribute to a huge corporation that doesn't resonate with who I am, and also doesn't contribute to the communities I see myself in and also find passion, joy, excitement in. I feel like I missed those opportunities, or those opportunities missed me, because it's like time to believe in myself to the point where it's a delusional thing. For the longest time, I've been trying to band-aid myself in finding some type of security, which is totally a normal human thing to do, is to find some sort of stability, typically within your job or your living situation or even a relationship. In this case, I was doing it with the income aspect, because my fully commissioned role, obviously it can fluctuate and you're grinding, working for those deals. I wanted something to where it was predictable, and I could also try and balance this side hustle interest of mine, which was content creating, building a brand, building a business, whatever it may be. I wanted that to be something on the side while I had the stability, and then I'd be able to figure it out while also having this, steady stream of income. But in reality, that role would take a lot of brain power and commitment to really excel and move up in ranks. Because at the end of the day, it's sales. Like if you don't hit your numbers, you're going to get let go, and there's no rhyme or reason for them to keep you if you're the new guy. Ultimately, it would take a lot more for me to be in that role than to do what I'm attempting, or do what I'm starting to do now. And every time I misspeak, I want to correct it, because I do believe in myself, and I believe there's a reason that those two opportunities missed me, and I'm here now. I have everything I need to be successful. I can cover my expenses for a good amount of time. I have camera equipment. I have friends that are in the content space. I have people I'm connected to in the health and wellness space, which is another interest of mine. And I believe that I can have a real impact on people because of my story, and I see myself as unique, not an anomaly. I'm a first-generation American. Both my parents came here with little to nothing and created a life good enough for me to have a chance to believe in myself, take risks, take chances, and ultimately put myself in a position like this to where I can really make a leap and do everything I've always wanted to as a kid. Life is short. There's no reason not to go after what you're doing if you have the ability and you're able to. But one thing I've learned across this whole journey of growing up, business, schooling, relationships, is that if you don't believe in it and you don't believe in yourself, it's never going to work. No matter how many times you show up, how many reps you put in, how many cold calls you do, how many texts you send, the other person can feel it, whether you don't believe in them or you don't believe in yourself. And if this doesn't work, it's because I don't believe in myself or I don't believe in what I'm doing. But this is the rare occasion where I truly believe in myself and I truly believe in what I'm putting out. My fundamental belief is that we all have value we can add to someone in some way, and that we can always add value, whether it's a smile, a nod, a handshake, a hello, uplifting someone when you can tell they're down. We all have the ability to do that, and we all have something innate within us that is different from each other that we can contribute. If you're seeing this, I hope you take it as a sign to make that jump, take the leap of faith, believe in yourself, Do something that you believe in, and you will soar to your greatest success well past what you thought you could accomplish. And if you write it down, it will happen. All you have to do is follow through, show up, and believe. Thanks for sitting with me.